Hello, welcome to Sweet Tree of Life Tarot. This is basically a little, kind of like in a nutshell, a little bit about the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life, as I understand it, which is very minimal, so forgive me for not understanding it fully, but this is how I understand it. And I'm also going to put in a link for those of you that do speak Spanish, and sometimes I do have these links in translated in other languages, in French and English as well. And it's called the Kabbalah Mashiach, and he seems Albert Goslan seems to be pretty pretty good at explaining and decodifying the Tree of Life, not just talking about it, but actually decodifying it, which I enjoy seeing some of his classes online, and they're all free. So I'm going to go ahead and post the link on there if you guys want to check it out. But this is my basic understanding of what the Tree of Life is. In a nutshell, the Tree of Life, when I do my spread, I base it on the Tree of Life and all the aspects of the different Sephirah. The Sephirah are basically the circles here. Each of them are called Sephirah. And I believe the plural will be Sephirot. And that's basically in Hebrew, of course. And the crown here is Keter. They have Chokhmah with the wisdom, and then Bina with understanding. So as you can see, the Tree of Life is set up with its tree, the branches, and then it goes down to the roots. But in actuality, it's red like it's upside down because the fruit of this actual tree is here in the earth, is here with us in the material world. And the roots are hidden, just like in a tree where you can't usually see the roots because they're really deep. They're hidden, and they're actually seeking out into the divine and getting the roots in heaven. And that's how it comes down into us, into our world, which is a feminine world that accepts all these energies that come through from the masculine worlds here. So basically, this Tree of Life is a world of the soul and the secrets of heaven. So it is kind of like a map of the soul, right? The Tree of Life is also contrary to the Tree of Knowledge. So the Tree of Knowledge is kind of like, you remember with Adam and Eve, and the Tree of Knowledge with the knowing of right and wrong in the physical world, right? So that's basically what that is. This is the contrary. This is a Tree of Life. The other one is a Tree of Knowledge, which we'll be discussing a little bit later, as in this segment here, between right and wrong. That's what the Tree of Knowledge is focused on, as opposed to the Tree of Life focusing on the world of the soul, the aspects of the soul, the secrets of heaven. So the Tree of Life, which is called Itzia Haim, has also connected with several levels of the soul, right? Also called four worlds. So right here, we have this world of Olam Hatzilut, which is basically the world of the names of God. And then we have Olam Haberia, the names of the archangels, the other archangels, and then Olam Hayetzira, which is the angels, and then Olam Hasia, which is the world of basically karma, astral karma, which is tikkun, which is basically that healing, that karma that you have to kind of heal, whether it be from a present life or a past life, that you have to kind of deal with and kind of appease, or kind of make it, make that healing possible for that karma that we might have done at one point or another. And then there's also somewhere in other videos that he has where he talks about how to overcome that and how to not be dealing with the karma from a past life, so that at least you're only dealing with the karma of this life. But right here, in the Keter, in the crown, it basically is like divine consciousness, right? And it talks about how it condenses itself smaller and smaller and smaller until it gets to our world here, in order for us to understand it. So it has to, the divine has to kind of almost condense himself into these little areas in order for us to kind of funnel through and receive and understand it through our, our five senses, so to speak. But it condenses itself and works throughout. And then it makes itself from heaven through the formations, through the formational world, which is here in the physical world. So this tree, like we said, it's upside down with the roots in heaven, right? So it gets all the roots and gives us the fruit that we have here, the physical world. basically with, the divinity kind of like condenses itself until we can we can almost understand it a little better with our five senses, as much as possible anyway, as much as we can understand in that reality. Because spirit, all the roots are in the spiritual world, and we're here in the physical world, is considered to be a feminine world. So it is like giving, it's like providing and giving the fruit here. So it can receive from a world that donates to it. And these other worlds here, they basically are like donations, like they donate to the physical world, because you can only receive and they can only give. Another way of looking at it would be like I have here with these concentric circles, right? These concentric circles here, basically one circle within another, which is a sephirot here. It's kind of like a funnel. And then you have the funnel that opens up here, and all the divinity goes straight to us. And that's how it kind of just condenses itself in order to get to us, into our world. And then in other segments, you'll see about how some of those, sometimes we don't receive all of those blessings, but all those blessings are always coming, but we just don't receive it because we have our own blockages that we've either created through karma, or some kind of sin or something that we've done where it's actually blocking those blessings from coming in. But that's a different video for a different time. So basically with this tree of life, it says that we are in a physical world that is considered feminine, right? So it basically receives. So we receive, and then we give the fruit. We are, we give the fruit. We are the fruit. It also speaks about imagination, as far as like our imagination kind of runs wild as humans, unless we tame it. And if you don't tame it, it can lead to fears, chaos, and desperation, God forbid. But the only way to kind of fix that is through Kabbalistic meditation, which penetrates the spiritual world, therefore you entering the world of plenty. And the tree of life is the only reality, or the only kind of matrix that really is the true matrix, as opposed to other ones that are kind of led by all just our senses or our imaginations, or just kind of runs amok and doesn't really give that reality of what quote unreality really is. Okay, now right here in the crown, which is the divine consciousness, it's in the Keter. It's believed that it holds all the archives of all the worlds and all of the dimensions. Okay, Chokmah here, wisdom. It basically is the conscious of the universe. And then, of course, we have Binah, intelligence. Now, this is really important because Binah, the intelligence portion of the Sephirah, actually helps transmit the divine consciousness that leads all the way down to Malchut, to where we are in our physical world. So it condenses it all and gives it there. So we're considered to be like an archive of that divine consciousness. So that divine consciousness, we are the archive that come to live in this physical world in a body. And we either tie ourselves to one or two things, the tree of life or the tree of knowledge. If you tie yourself to the tree of knowledge, it's believed that you are being proactive and you will be living in more of a world of plenty in every aspect. If you tie yourself to the tree of knowledge, it's the knowing of good and bad, right? Like in Adam and Eve with the knowledge, good and bad. But that's leading you to a life of material and, material things, and more of material and body desires, and more almost like an animalistic part of the soul, because it's not dealing with the spiritual, but it's dealing more with the material, the physical aspect of it. So you're more reactive, which leads to fear, chaos, and desperation. That's why it's so important to tie yourself more to the tree of life than to the tree of knowledge. So what are we considered? We are considered to be like explorers, right? Explorers of what? To do what? We explore all types of emotions here on earth, from the saddest to the happiest moments. And we live this game, this game of life. Then after our life is over, this archive that we have within ourselves, this soul, right? Enriches itself with all of these experiences that we have here on earth. And then it heads back to the divine memory of Keter, which is a divine memory here of the divine conscious, back to God. So this is what that's considered as far as what I understand for the tree of life, and my very limited understanding, of course. But thank you for joining me today, and I hope that helps a little bit about the tree of life. And I did say I would discuss a little bit about lessons that I've learned about the tree of life within some of the readings that I do, so that we can actually all share together and go on this journey together. I will go ahead and put in the link so that you can see that Mr. Goslan's videos as well. And thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate it. And I will be posting more videos soon with readings for the Spirit of Life readings that I do for every zodiac sign. Thank you very much and wishing you the best. And of course, always sending you much light, love, and lots of peace. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Have a good night. Goodbye.